Today we're going to dive in and test out the neural network trainer on a Dodge Hellcat to see if it works. Stick around.
This video is intended for educational purposes only. Improper tuning can cause catastrophic mechanical damage, and you should do your own research before attempting any changes like this to a vehicle. Attempt custom tuning at your own risk.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the garage, and we're back to Dodge Tuning. And today we're going to be doing, this isn't necessarily a how to tune with the neural network. This is more of a test. I want to talk about a couple things as we go through this and explain what's going on and why we need to do this. Because I know, listen, if you've done any searching out there on the internet, you have found 1,000 ways to probably tune a Dodge. Actually, maybe 10, because there's not very much information out there. And a lot of people are going to tell you to come in here and look at your injector pulse width versus fuel mass and create an air graph and log against that. Don't do that. That is the incorrect way to tune a Dodge. If you are tuning a Dodge or somebody has tuned your Dodge and they have done it through this pulse width, injector control pulse width table, they have done it they've done it incorrectly.
It's false. No way. Not this time.
Okay? Let's get that out of the way first. Will it work? Yeah. Is it a total hack job? Yes. Hack job. It reminds me, if you were around in the mid-2000s whenever Virtual VE came out, people were abusing the PE table on GMs and stuff like that because we couldn't access the Virtual VE stuff. This is the equivalent of that. You have all the tools that you need in order to tune these correctly. Why would you do a hack job on this data? These tables that we're looking at right now, the two that I'm moving my mouse over, those tables are not variables. Those are static data in the math parameters that are part of the FAR calculation. If you want to know more about that, click the link in the corner where I talk about FAR on Dodge. But those are not dynamic variables. They are static in this formula. So we don't adjust these to tune these. If you get new injectors, you will update these tables. You don't then go out and tune these tables. You tune your airflow tables.
Leave me alone!
And in this case, it's going to be neural network. But I hear also what you're saying, but Kyle, we have volumetric efficiency tables on a Dodge. Yes, we do. But the problem is we also have a variable camshaft. And so volumetric efficiency tables will not work. Those kind of tables will not work with a variable camshaft. Guarantee you. If somebody tells you they will, they are lying. They will work if your variable camshaft is locked out at 0 degrees, or if you go in here and set all of your desired angles to 0, or whatever the base angle. In this case, it would be like 134 because it's controlled off the exhaust. They would work in that case, but they will not work as long as that cam can move. So once again, big red flag. If somebody says you can do it this way, you can't. Now, if you do a cam upgrade, just go ahead and lock the cam out, 0 degree it, and then, yes, you can come over and use these simplified VE tables that are this, I mean, yeah, do it. I would highly suggest it. That's how you can get away from neural networking. But since we can't do that, we have to do neural networking. And you can see in here, part of the training values is the cam positions. We go in and let's look at our neural network trainer, and I should have a trained file that's based off of this, but we will train a new one just to be case. Flex in first. Let's open this one up, take a look at it. Oh, that one has not been trained. Let's find a results file. Here we go. So this is what our tables look like, a VE table. And in fact, we got pressure ratio and an RPM. And then we have intake and exhaust positions. Now, there is 5 by 5. So A lot of tables, right? Well, no, it's not, because with this kind of motor, a pushrod motor with a center bore cam, it's not dual overhead cams. A center cam, the intake and exhaust lobe are always at the same angle of difference. So the center lines, the angle between center lines never changes. And because of that, not all of these are going to be used. And in fact, I'll show you what I mean. If I jump over here to our scanner, come on now, let's close this window out. Let's open this one, and we're online right now. Let me close this. We'll go into our graphs layout here so you can see what I'm talking about. Let me delete these graphs and open up my Hellcat graphs. This is my original graphs that I set up for neural networking. Look at all these VE tables. Look at that. Look at all those VE tables. Well, here's the thing. It only uses 5 of these. So you can't, there is certain cam positions in here, like a 107, 115 and a half, 107 intake, 115 and a half exhaust. Impossible. Cannot be hit with this camshaft. So we don't need those tables. And so what I have done then is gone in and truncated this down. Now, these cam tables are only going to work for this motor in this cam. Dodge trucks are going to be different. You know, 396s or whatever the hell other things that Dodge has, they're all going to be different based on the camshaft. I am going to at least release the Hellcat ones. You can buy them for a couple bucks like I've done with the GM stuff in the past, and it will give you an idea of how it's set up. And this has too many filters in it as is, and I'll tell you why, is because we're filtering both intake and exhaust angle. We only need to filter exhaust angle because it's the only one that makes a difference, but for now I'm still working on cleaning these up. And in fact, I've got a pedal filter on here, and the sole purpose of the pedal filter is to filter out DFCO, because I want to leave as much stuff on as I can. And so with DFCO on, it'll allow us to do that. I don't need to save this. Let's just close this. But here is where we're actually at. If we come down and look at our center, and in this one, it is exhaust cam center position. As I said, the intake cam center position is always going, it's like 21.5 degrees or 12.5 degrees or something. 21.5 is what it looks like. It's always 21.5 off. So we don't actually need the intake cam. The exhaust cam center position is the one that's changing. There's like 3 or 4 of them, but I found that the exhaust cam center position is the one that is most reliable to get us what we're actually looking for. We're at 133. And I know for a fact that this table is set up to allow anything from the midpoint between 107 and 116 and 134 and 24.75. And so it's going to fall in line there. It's going to be part of table 1. Rest of these tables should be zeroed out, which they are. Good to go. So you can see right now we're running 20% rich. And if you look at our numbers, you'll say, oh no, we're only about 10% rich. Well, since this is a Hellcat, I'm also taking into account our long terms and our short terms, which are about another 10%. So this thing is 20% rich. What we need to do then is come over, and we're going to try and make a small adjustment to this. We're going to come over, let's start from scratch. Let's do the neural network trainer. Let's create a new one. And we're going to call this NN_1 idle, because we're looking at correcting the idle. And it's going to say, hey, now that you've exported it, you need to go Tuner Tunes. The Tuner Tunes button does not work, so we'll just go over to HP Tuners. And we're going to scroll down to the very bottom to where we have Tuner Tools and Neural Network Trainer. Takes us to another website instead of taking us straight to the Neural Network Trainer. Then we can go to Tuner Tools. If you're going to be doing this, just bookmark this page, tunertools.hptuners.com, so you can get there quick. Now, I've got 105 tokens available, and I've already got Dodge saved. If we come down to our cost, you'll see that it costs 25 tokens, and I think it's a, was it? Let's see if I can figure out what the cost is here. I think a 50 pack is $100, so it's $2 a token, so it costs 50 bucks a month to run this tool. So keep that in mind. Let's go back over to our neural network trainer, and we're going to take our file that we just exported, our flex NN1 idle, the one that we just created. We're going to open it up, upload it up, and then we'll come down here and we're waiting. You can see I've got 22 days left on this license, then I'll have to spend another 50 or 25 tokens or whatever. So let's download this, download it to our Hellcat folder, and now we're going to come in here and open up the file that we just downloaded, NN1 idle result. So here is our VE tables, as it were, for this setup. Then we're going to come back and we're going to look at which one we're at. We're on the 107-134 graph. That's the one that's logging our data. And if we drove this around, this was going to be our low speed cruising table right here, is this one. But for what I want to do now is I want to go 107-134. That's that table. And I'm going to take the entire table for now and just take 10% off out of it and see if we can get it 10% closer, which is what our trims are. And then we're basically cutting our error in half. So we'll come in here and go 0.90 and multiply that. Now what we're going to do, and honestly I don't know if this matters, is we can go through all the rest of these tables and uncheck use table for training. Honestly, I don't know if this matters. I don't know why. You know, what if it does, what I would like to see is one that says uncheck all, because we're only tuning 1 out of 25 tables. So we'll just, yeah, you know what, let's just send it and see what happens. What's the worst that can happen? Nothing, right? Okay. So now we're going to export for training, and we're going to say this is our NN1 idle, and we're going to do NN2 now. NN2 idle. And it's telling us once again, go back to tuner tools. And this is going to take a little longer than the last one because we've made changes. NN2 idle, upload, and it is now crunching all of the math in order to train this table with the known inputs to create the output that we want to see based on this table. And so what the neural networking system does is it takes all of your parameters like RPM and pressure ratio and cam position, takes all those things and inputs them and runs them through this machine learning along with your widebands, and it ends up creating an output for your fueling. It's much like virtual VE, only a step more complicated. But as you can see, because it has to do all this math to make all the inputs change, we're basically working this backwards. We're taking the export where we have VE tables, and it's working those backwards to change the input layers to what they need to be in order to achieve that output layer. It's adjusting weights, how it looks at different things, what it takes into account, how they affect the output, and so forth, without getting too deep in there. So we've got this one, we got our NN2 idle result. We're now going to open it up. We don't even have to close the table out. Say, no, we don't need to save it. We've already saved it. And here is our result. And it says, do you want to update the tune? Yes. It says, please save and write to the vehicle. Okay, you can see all the boxes that have turned red under here. It has changed these weights and biases to try and accomplish that output table. So let's go ahead and disconnect on the editor. Doop. And we'll turn the car off, and I'll die of heat stroke because it's 1,000 degrees. And let's write this to the vehicle. We'll see if this works. This is the most simple adjustment that we can make on neural network. We took a table that was 20% rich and took the entire table and took 10% out of it. Probably not the best way to approach this, but whenever we get in depth and do actual neural network tuning on the Dodge platform, I will go in and we will look at the tables and how the filtering works in order for us to tune all of the tables that can be active. So this is just to kind of test it out and see if it's going to work. We got about 10 seconds left and we got to do the song and dance of off, 10 seconds on, blah, 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 restart the vehicle and then start logging. And hopefully what we'll see is a shift of 10%. Will we? I don't know. Something tells me that probably, oh, don't listen. Turn it off for 10 seconds, waste 10, turn it back on. Click OK. Probably, I don't know that we'll see a full 10% shift. We will probably see maybe a 5-6% shift. This may be something that we have to do a bunch of times. Okay, let's go back to on. And we're done. Let's start this thing up before I stroke out. Turn my air conditioning back on and mute the radio. And let's go back over to our scanner and connect back up. And keep in mind, I don't know if this is going to reset the long terms. We should know pretty quick. Oh, look at that. Hey, we're back in. And what's our error? 10%. We literally cut our error in half.
To be honest with you, Diane, I'm surprised.
As you can see, the error is on our wideband. So if we scroll down into our closed loop, look at where our error is at now, about 5%. But if you look at our short terms, they're positive. So they're offsetting each other. We're actually 7%, 3 to 7% positive. So our long terms did persist through the flash, but they are going to get smaller the longer that we idle here, because as it learns from the short terms, the long terms are going to take away. But we have accomplished splitting our error exactly in half, which goes to show the neural network works. And that's why it's the correct way to tune a Dodge vehicle. Listen, I'm going to wrap this tune up, but we are going to do in-depth neural network tuning on Dodge. This is just an introduction. There's plenty more to come. We're going to throw the kitchen sink at it and see if we can't devise the best way for you to tune your Dodge utilizing the neural network. And I'm going to show it to you all for free, as usual, right here on Goat Rope Garage. Listen, if you have any questions, hit up the comments down below. As always, go over to the website, join the Patreon. If you want to reach me, if you have tuning questions or you need assistance with your tune, you can find the link in the description. You can find the link on the website. You can find links to all the people that support the channel down in the description. And for heaven's sakes, why have you not subscribed? Surely you subscribed by now. But listen, I'm going to get back to it. You guys know the drill. Thanks for stopping by the garage. Remember, ABT, always be tuning.